we
There
go.
we go.
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies live Thursday night.
Good hello. Good to see everybody. Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers,
John.
everyone.
To a long week
Let's hope
and a very busy weekend.
Yes, we got a
Yes,
great
that's
weekend.
gonna be great.
But let's hope the topic tonight brings spring in, because I'm done. Old man winter can go.
We're going to spring forward.
What is it? 6
not.
weeks.
No.
6 weeks of winter, right? It's 6
Yeah.
more weeks of winter, but we've already 4 weeks past that, so hopefully we're close.
Done.
Yeah.
No more snow, please. You know what sucks in Indiana is you're mowing one day and then you're shoveling snow the next, and then the next day you're mowing again. It's just March is crazy.
We are in mud season.
Mud
Yes,
season. That's
it
true.
was 60 degrees yesterday, but you can't plant anything outdoors until May 1st because there's a high chance of freezing.
Yeah.
So
It's nuts here.
what do you do?
Nuts.
Nuts, I tell you.
Yep.
It's fine. Drink scotch.
Drink scotch. We're going to do
Drink
that.
scotch. That's
Bottle
always an
scotch.
option.
We're going to do that.
Well, we
too.
got a
Our
fun show
American
tonight.
Single malt.
Fun
do.
show tonight. We're going to talk about spring in more ways than one. But let's say hi to some of our people online, gentlemen.
We do have some friendly folks on. I do want to call out Engineered Network. I mean, that's not his name, but
Sounds like you should say that like Engineered Network.
But
that's our newest patron from the land down under. He's made a couple of our Zoom calls on
Yeah,
our
it's good.
Tuesdays, which is fun because it's like the middle of his workday.
Shush it. We don't talk about that.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
You don't talk about Tuesday night when it's Tuesday night.
Oh, man. Glad to see him here, though.
So Stuff Works here. Jeff Teamy is here drinking water neat.
The
That's
dry
good.
week is
It's-
still going for him,
Yeah,
apparently.
he's participating in Dry Week.
Joe's doing the same thing. It looks
Yep.
like with a little water.
Joe
only.
helped out tonight. We
well-
got a segment from him.
We
Yep.
do.
wasn't dry January.
It was dry January.
Right.
So why do we need another week?
Fair
Because
I
they were
don't.
told to do it.
Okay.
And they're doing it.
point. All right.
Good for,
They're
good on you guys.
participating.
So Malt Minions in.
Hiya,
Tom R is making us late again. Yeah, it could be.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Mark JG's in.
Hi,
See
Mark.
him.
Hi, Tom.
M2's there.
M2za, that's a new one, I think.
Yeah.
Stephen Hearn with a Springbank 10. That looks
Mr.
pretty
Boyer.
good.
Oh, we have a super
Oh,
chat
Tom
from
R.
Tom R. for the Trip Pork Roll Fund.
Yeah.
We don't need a pork roll fund.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think.
Can
Can you refund that?
Yeah, how do I?
No, dude.
that back.
Yeah, you can. We can return that or refund the super.
I don't
chat.
want
no,
that pork
dude,
roll.
pork rolls like if you like bologna, you like pork roll. It's the same thing.
That's a negative. That pattern is full.
Negative, dude.
How much barbecue you got?
You can talk more with our guest later about that.
Sauce to put on there. Orpheus, hello.
Steve A is in the house as well. Got a good crew, and that's everybody's that's said something yet.
Right. So let's talk about spring.
Let's do it. Yeah, the
Dive
topic
right
for
in.
tonight.
Yes.
So what does this mean? What's the topic really mean? And we
So-
could say it's spring bank, but we're talking more of the season.
This
Spring
season.
into
So
flavor.
next week is March, and in the South, it's spring. I was looking at a chart today where in Indiana, honeybees tend to swarm when they're like the hives are going really go. They'll swarm from late April to June. It's already swarm season in Louisiana.
Wowzer.
Wow.
So
Okay.
so
Wow.
it's
Wow.
coming fast.
They
in
better
the South.
be careful because it snowed not that long
I
ago
know.
I
down
think
there.
it's also crawfish season down
It
there.
is
Them little mud
crawfish
bugs
season.
are coming out.
We need a crawfish
so,
boil.
So
Yeah.
we're technically talking spring is here.
Spring is on
Right?
the way for large parts of the country. Yeah.
All right. So what does that mean for us?
For whiskey.
Exactly.
Well, when you sit out in a spring day, a heavily peated whiskey just doesn't hit the same as when you're sitting by a fire pit or sitting by the fire and, that
Not
kind
to
of
say that you can enjoy peat in the warmer
True.
weathers,
That is true. There's some light peats.
but I do think it's true that your mood, your flavor, it changes on the mood, and it changes by the season and the weather and the temperatures and the amount of sun, and you don't want something that's heavy, going to bring you down, and weight you down. So what do you really like to drink? Let's picture the day. And this weekend, a beautiful 60, 65 degree temperature, spring morning or afternoon. I mean, I like to have whiskey in the morning, but
Spring's about rebirth. It's about brightness. It's about the sun finally coming back after a deep, dark winter. And so what kind of vision, what does that put in your mind as far as flavors and colors and all those kind of things that you're looking for in a whiskey when you think about spring?
That's fair.
It's not my sherry bombs that I love. I can tell you that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely not an Oloroso sherry.
I
Maybe a
tend to
Fino.
I tend to give
Maybe a
up
PC.
maybe the
It's true.
the funk of Campbelltown and the heavily peated, and probably some of the heavily sherried. Although if it's a lightly sherried whiskey, I think that's still fine. But I tend to go towards what I usually go towards with food in the spring. Like you're not hibernating anymore. Like Indiana, everybody wants those meat and potatoes when it's cold
Right.
outside.
It's
Yeah,
the ribs.
It's crock pot season in the
Yeah.
winter, right?
And so to me, when you switch over to spring, people are, they're getting ready for spring break. It's bathing suit season. You're eating lighter and healthier food. And to pair up with that, you need stuff that's lighter and
Exactly.
more approachable, more floral, I would say.
Fruity.
So what do
honey.
you put on your menu when you're getting ready to open the patio? When the weather's nice enough that people can sit outside and eat, what do you put on the menu to kind of address that kind of crowd?
So I'm actually working on spring menu items right now.
Yep.
A lot of the heavier sauced dishes come off. More fresh vegetables, sautéed things like that.
Lemon, I think.
I expand the salad offerings.
Yeah.
A lot of times the wine lists will change, so you'll see more white wines and less reds. A lot of less heavier type dishes, just because people aren't into that. More fruits and compotes and things
Interesting.
of that nature. Just because people are into that kind of thing. So you'll want whiskeys that pair up well with those kinds of things. So
Exactly. Yep.
does anybody have one they want to share?
A whiskey?
Yeah.
We pulled a couple off of the shelves behind that are just sitting here that kind of made me think of it. And actually, one or two of them I pulled because I haven't tasted in a long time. I was like, I don't know if this is a spring bottle or not. But I poured this Oak Cross, and it's delicious whiskey. Does it fit the profile of spring? Maybe. It's definitely not outside of the bounds. It's not, one that I would turn my nose up to, but it's not the lighter whiskey that I'm thinking of in springtime. And what
do you have a key spring dram in your mind? Either anybody can speak.
I would say, to me, I'm looking at Highlands. So,
Okay.
actually, the Glenmoes. Generally speaking, the Glenmorangies are really anything in their lineup is usually pretty good. Even the stuff that's finished or a little bit older, but the original, if you can still find a bottle here or there, that's a good approachable whiskey for spring.
This was my thought, because when you think of spring, you also think of flowers. Well, Glenmoe, their original is known for the floral notes, for the light fruits, for the pear and apple and those kind of characteristics. And that would make sense. That is what they are targeting, and it happens to be perfect for spring.
I think it does.
Yeah. I mean, along those similar lines, though, you could think about Irish. So Irish whiskeys are generally lighter, generally
Triple distilled.
brighter. So those, pick your favorite Irish, and if it has a little bit of fruitiness in it, that could go as well.
For sure.
That's
And
fair.
there are blends out there that can be really light as well. I mean, not to get really expensive, but you talk about the lightest blend that I can think of is Johnny Walker Blue. I mean, a lot of people say it's the crown of Johnny Walker, but I think it's so stinking light that
It's
you
very
miss it
smooth.
sometimes.
It is very light.
It's
really
very
is.
smooth.
You had to be in that kind of mood for it too, I think. I mean, it's one of those things where don't go thinking you need something super heavy. It's very light. You have to be in the mood to really be patient and think about all the things it's giving you. There's lots of nuances going on there, but it's very light, and you have to give it time to open up.
Yeah, I just tasted this Oak Cross. I hadn't poured this yet. Yes, this is a whiskey that if you were to put like a couple of rocks on it, it would just brighten it and it would soften it. And it's pretty light as it is, but it could absolutely take a few rocks on a nice summer day and just make it a great, refreshing dram.
So Sean said Glenmoe 10, and you're saying what, Johnny Walker Blue, or just in general? Let's like do three each and kind of just talk
three,
through them.
huh?
Yeah.
Well,
And then
we
we'll
wanna
actually,
go
while
on
we're doing this, audience chat, if you want to, we'd love to see what some of your suggestions are too. But Mark, go ahead and.
I honestly, if I had to pick, my first pick would probably be an Irish, like you were, just because of the triple distillation and the lightness of it.
Smooth.
So maybe a one of my favorites is just Redbreast, just the classic
Redbreast 12. Yeah,
12.
it's an affordable dram. It's light. It's great.
And
that
if you're
was, that was
feeling
on my list.
frisky, if you're
Yeah.
feeling frisky that spring day, you make it to cast strength and go big.
Yeah, good luck.
yeah.
I do like
Yeah,
that one.
that cast strength is
That's
delicious.
a very hard day of the spring if you get that one. That one will punch
It's
you in the
after
gut.
18 holes
That's
of playing
right.
in the mud, right? Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's muddy.
What
yeah.
you got, Andrew?
Well, that was that Redbreast 12 was my second on my list. It's like that's a great whiskey, but you also have to consider there are people that drink bourbons, and there are a lot of bourbons that could be good spring drams as well because they're lighter, they're
I
sweeter.
see a big hook coming out,
They're-
pulling you off the stage.
So consider something like a Woodford Reserve or something like that
Oh.
that has a little bit of sweetness to it.
You talking bourbon?
I am because there are lots of people that drink bourbon, and a bourbon is not a bad spring dram.
I will say,
Especially over rocks.
I would do a cocktail
Okay.
of bourbon. Just because to
Why is
me, a lot of them are still a little heavy.
Too oaky?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but I think if you're doing like an old fashioned or something, and you're
Perfect.
adding a little something to it, you're adding in some fruit, making it lighter and more approachable. I think that's a great one.
Can't even work up a sweat in 7 minutes. 8-minute abs. No, we're not talking about bourbon and mixed drinks here. We're talking about whiskey, gentlemen.
Well,
Springtime whiskey.
hold on. That's not fair.
Not at all.
I'll talk about my whiskey in a second, but you know what? I will say, since we're in the cocktail talk, I do like a good gin and tonic in the spring. I feel like
Well-
that's a nice way to kind of get into the mood of something refreshing, and you could have a couple of those on a spring day. Feel great. It's not too much. It's very light,
It is.
and it does get you that
the
kind
lime, the sweet lime, the tartness. Yeah, it's great.
Shit, we overplayed that one spring and took it and made it a whole.
What's wrong with that? Gin
Yeah, I don't
tonics are
of.
good.
Gin and
remember-
tonics plays spring and summer.
I
It's
don't remember
fine.
much of that summer. That was it's pretty heavy. Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of great comments online of different whiskeys.
Oh, so one, I see Trooper talking about Japanese.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, see, those to me are a little more fall. The spiciness of the Mizunara oak and things like that.
Japanese oak.
I tend to think that more being a fall dram, but if people have other ones that are better, then yeah, okay.
That's fair.
Dalwhinnie.
Yeah. I like to. I'm with you guys. I kind of want to get the lighter side of things. I do like the Irish stuff because it's very smooth and triple distilled, but I also want to get into something just a tad bit malty too sometimes, just to give me a little bit of that.
Oh,
How you doing, Scotch?
Little
What's
body.
going on? And I like the cheap route. I like Monkey Shoulder. Honestly, that's a really nice,
Yeah.
easy starter. I mean, you could technically play that
We
all
did
year
a-
round, but it's a great way. I haven't had that for a while, and it's a great way to start the spring too, to kind of get in that. Hey, it's light, but it's also got a little bit of maltiness to it. Kind of kickstart your summer and ahead of schedule, if you will.
That doesn't break the bank.
Doesn't
either.
break the
yeah.
bank.
Was that spring break or spring break or fall break that we were in New Orleans and we killed the monkey
I
bottle
did
on
not
the
make
shoulder?
that trip. That's
think
the
it was-
first
Yeah,
time
you
guys
didn't.
ever
You didn't
found
make that. Yeah, and
That
then-
was fall.
It was fall break. Okay, so but yeah, we in fall break in New Orleans, the three of us killed a bottle of that in
Oh
24 hours, something like that. It was
That was our first one.
yeah,
Yep, that's what you guys discovered it and brought it on. I remember.
It was delicious.
it was.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Okay, so round 2 then, Sean.
All right. So I'm gonna throw something a little different out there for you. You ready?
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Malort?
ready.
Grain whiskey.
Grain.
Amen,
whiskey.
brother. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah,
and I will say
can-
that's one that I haven't really explored as much as I think I would like to.
Yeah.
And I was actually at Total Wine last week, and I was looking at a couple of bottles, and I was like, you know what? It was still cold and snowy. I wasn't in the mood for it. But I think that that's something that as it starts to warm up just a little bit, I'd like to go back and get a couple of different grains and just try some things out. I know we've got Jeff, one of our patrons, is on right now, and
Resident expert.
He is a big proponent of the grain
Yes, he
whiskey,
is.
and he has poured us some excellent stuff.
Yeah, and
Yes.
they're generally more affordable too.
Yes,
So
Right,
and
right.
a lot of them hit that lighter, sweeter, fruitier
sure.
style that I think would go really well in spring.
yeah, I agree.
I completely agree. I pulled that Compass Box Orchard House. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
think that's like the ultimate profile for it to me. You want to talk about a Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity?
Yeah. No
You
kidding.
know, and,
Yeah, that
and that's kind of what you want. And
That's
everything's
exactly what you want.
blooming. You've got fresh fruit coming, and everything's waking up, coming
It
back
is.
to life, and that's a perfect. It paints the picture in my head when I think about pouring a dram of that. That's what the vision of just a beautiful sunny spring day and enjoying
Truth.
outside.
Yep, I would
Yeah,
agree.
all the
That's-
apples in the orchard. hence the name. It's a delicious bottle.
And it has some grain in it, doesn't it? I can't say
Oh,
that
just
for
a
sure,
little
but
bit.
it
I mean, I don't know
probably
if it's
does.
got a
I would
lot.
assume it does.
Which does he
Actually,
like?
I think it's a blended malt.
Is it blended malt?
Either anyway, yeah,
That's
I
why I was
understand where
looking.
it's
I'm
coming
not
from.
sure.
It says on the front.
Well, I already hit mine. They got the Glenmorangie Original. You got
Glenmorangie,
Redbreast
yeah, no
12,
grain.
and you got bourbon. What's next on your list?
Well,
This is a John Glen.
you know, I also kind of like the light stuff is always great, right? But sometimes you're talking about cocktails and stuff. Sometimes you kind of kickstart the year a little bit too. And it's not always Scotch. And it's not always, sometimes you got to break
Fireball?
out the rum influenced bottles.
What?
And get the Balvenie 14
Oh, you're doing
year
that for
rum
Tom.
cast. No. I really enjoy this one. It used to be one of my favorites back in the day, but it's a nice kick
I'll
of
have
that.
to try it.
It's the Caribbean
Did you
Cast
say you're going to have to
14.
try it?
So, funny thing is, my son is a new to Scotch. That is one of his favorite bottles.
Really?
It's
Yeah,
a great.
It's just got that balance of sweetness in there that it makes it so
Exactly.
it's not too heavy. He's not a peated guy. He's not a heavy sherry guy, but that just has the right sweet
a little
maltiness
sweetness,
to it.
a
Yeah.
little
fair.
malty. Still, I'm still on the malt track there, but it's a light side of the Scotch. It's a light side of the whiskey, so it's not going to superimpose you on the malty side either. So it's going to be a nice blend.
I see Bobby J's joined, and Eric Waite. Haven't seen you in a while, my friend. It's good to see you in the chat. I hope you're still out there, obviously drinking whiskeys. I see he's mentioning an Invergordon single grain.
Yeah.
There you go,
Crazy
getting in the
good.
conversation.
See, I like
Yep.
when people tell me where to go.
Right. Not too proud. You got a good one you want to suggest?
Absolutely
I'll
not.
get it.
Balvenie is that's a good pull, Drew. I haven't had that one in a while.
Well, help yourself.
Well, I'm having some of the Orchard House right now.
I'm twisting Mark's arm apparently.
Honestly,
Yeah, I had to finish this one.
this one
get into
isn't
that
as fruity as I remember it.
Which one? The Orchard House?
Yeah,
Well,
Is
it's
it-
kind
is
of
it-
towards the end of the bottle.
that is
Yeah.
true.
Is it almost gone? Yeah.
It's a zebra.
Yeah.
Still got a good nose to it.
got a little
though.
limp
I'll
to
take
it.
That.
You got anything left?
So, the first one that I thought of when I was like, what would I like to have for spring? Glencaddam 10. I like that bottle. I was kind of disappointed because when I came over, I was like, I know Drew's got a bottle of that, and apparently
That does not
I think we
last
drank
long
it.
around here, dude.
We drank it.
But it's a delicious
It is.
dram and one that probably doesn't get a lot of attention. I guess it's not one of the higher profile places, but it's a good whiskey.
It is a good whiskey. I'm gonna have to take a pause and think about my third one. I'm not sure yet. I
What
got all
about
these
like a
other whiskeys here.
Rosebank 34 or 32, whatever that was that we had at the.
Fireball.
Oh, it hits the profile.
That
for spring,
Rosebank
but
was a bright, fresh, light whiskey.
absolutely, it was.
It'll be interesting to see what the new distillery does. Hopefully, it's the same.
It's gonna be tough to.
It's tough to beat.
We'll find out in 35 years. If
There's
they made it
there's
right.
no way that you would consider a 35-year-old whiskey that bright and flavorful. It was unbelievable that they did that.
So Justin Boyer says spring to him means Aaron 10. Yeah.
Boom.
Ben Riach 10, Glenmorangie 18, and Kleinleash 14.
Okay.
That's an interesting concoction there, if you will. I mean,
You know what? I thought about Klein Leash, but sometimes it's a little bit too
Yeah.
like waxy and mouth coating. for
Very
me.
waxy.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
feel
Um,
thick.
Yeah. So it's more of I always think of it as like a slightly heavier whiskey, I guess, from that regard. So I don't know.
I
guess it
like the
depends on
Aaron
day.
10 call though. I
Aaron
could
10's great.
definitely get on
We
board
haven't
with
had
that.
Aaron in a while.
Yeah.
We went through a couple of bottles of 10 there when we were doing those competitions. Remember the King of the Hills?
Oh, yeah.
We went through a couple.
It
of
went-
Aaron
Yeah,
10s.
they killed.
It was a king for a while. Tom Marr says rum is perfect
so
for spring and summer, but also fall and winter.
Of course he does. Wow, someone pulled out the Naked Malt. Man, I haven't had a bottle of that in a while either. We've
I haven't even seen it on the shelves, honestly.
Really?
I'm
That's
gonna
unfortunate.
have to go out of my
find
way
it.
to find a bottle of that because we really put some of that down too.
Yeah, that's good. Good.
Andrew, you got another bottle that you're thinking of?
You got my 3 already, and plus the Rosebank.
All right.
So I was thinking about, obviously we started off by saying, spring is not a time for those heavy peateds and stuff. But if I'm in the mood for a peated whiskey in that time of year, it's probably a Highland Park. It's probably something that's really lightly peated.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, half the time Highland Park, I don't even get any peat off it
No.
anymore at all, just because it kind of burnt that.
You have to
peat.
really try hard for it,
Right.
you know?
But I mean, I do enjoy really lightly peated in those kind of temperatures as well. The heavy ones, not so much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Johnny Walker Black on the rocks.
Yeah, I can
Little bit
see
of
that.
smoke.
If you want
That
something
maybe a little too heavy
smoky,
for spring.
that's tough.
I find that in
More of a
spring,
fall.
I usually switch to like a lot of light stuff, and by June, I'm like, where'd that sherry go?
Yes, sherry is that late
punch.
spring, early summer lover, right?
Like once it starts to warm up a little, and you're just like, it's fire pit season again,
Right.
Or you're just
No,
like
fire pit
sitting
season.
outside and just enjoying the evening. That's when you hit it.
So here's a blast from the past that I want to pull out. That
Oh.
Stephen Hearn said to Matten
Kubokin.
Kubokin.
When's the last time you've had
Jesus.
one?
That was a lover from
Yeah.
About a month ago.
Yeah,
Really?
Mike's got several.
Mike's.
Does it-
Yeah,
is
so
it-
you
is it-
cheat. You cheat.
and
You
it's
get
Well,
friend
fresh.
that has it.
but I mean, he even got some recent bottles.
Yeah.
I think that's
It's
back
really
out
good.
again.
Yeah.
I never. You have to get it not from Indiana. You have to get it online somewhere or something because it's
don't know.
never on the shelves here.
I don't think it's not allocated. I don't know where he got it. Maybe he got it in Chicago or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
It's really
that's a
good.
delicious bottle, and it's been a few years since I've had it.
It's delicious.
It is delicious.
I have to call in a favor. I'm like, Mike, hey buddy,
Hook a brother up.
hook a brother up.
Can you pour me a dram?
I do have another dram that I want to talk about, which is a great. I think it's a really good spring bottle if you guys
Yeah,
want
like
to, gentlemen, and it also segues into kind of a weekend
Say
event
what?
we've
Like
got
a
going on.
early March dram.
Yeah, well, you can call it what you want to, but this
Is that a bourbon?
it is not. Come on, man. What is this, Andrew?
So Virginia Distilling Company, Virginia Distillery Company, Courage and Conviction. But look at this. There's like a special coin in here that has an S4D on it, and a sticker on the
logo
back that has
and-
a coin.
American single malt's what that is.
This would be the Scotch for Dummies American Single Malt from Virginia Distillery Company.
Are we killing that? It looks like
Yeah,
We're gonna
that's
kill it
going
tonight.
on
Pretty much. This is cask 633 at 60.7% ABV, available for patrons to purchase as we speak.
That's
It's
right.
out
It's
there.
live right now.
We are going to this
a
place
go.
this weekend.
We are. We're going to
Yep.
be there on site. But our patrons are buying the bottle already.
Yep.
Heck, I think you said you bought some
I
today.
bought a bunch today myself.
I didn't get around
Well,
to
and the
pulling
beauty is,
order, but I will.
is there a minimum number of bottles for free shipping?
Two or three.
Two.
Okay.
Two.
All right.
That's a pretty good deal.
Two
Yeah.
bottles or
So
more is
I
free
mean,
shipping.
honestly, it's a no-brainer. This bottle's fantastic. Well, I can't encourage you enough to buy.
And
this
it's only
bottle. It's so freaking
$59.99
good. It's
for
really good.
60% ABV. You can't. That's less than $1 in ABV.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But it's a
Tell
great
us
spring.
about it. Tell us about it. But why is it a great spring?
It's
dram?
just a perfect ex-bourbon, wonderful, nice maltiness that it's just so easy to drink. It's cask strength, but doesn't taste like cask strength. It doesn't even smell like cask strength. It's so easy to drink. It's got floralness to it. It actually evolves when you drink it. I mean, you guys have had it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's delicious.
Yeah, but I want to hear you. I want to hear your
I'm
story.
not arguing
you
with
pulled it.
Come on, boys.
do what you got to do.
I think what's special about the bottle to me is that it is we asked them to give us a very clean, pure spirit from the distillery. We don't want this to be masked or hidden by finishes or special barrels or unique, things like that. We want to taste your make. And Amanda was stoked about doing that, and she went into the Dunnage house and picked some samples, and the samples were all delicious. There was actually 2 that came down to the wire, and we came, it really is if you want to know what American single malt tastes like raw, this is it.
It's
right?
perfect.
There's nothing.
really good.
There's nothing it's hiding behind, and it is a great dram. I could see drinking this in the spring as well. Yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
I'm proud of this one. We got
Yeah.
lucky.
Totally.
This is our second bottling. First one was from Andalusia, and I think we've gotten lucky in both of them and finding really special whiskey, like really cool. This, I'm
But
excited
very
to be a
different.
part of it.
It's very
for
different.
for sure.
Yeah. So the thing about this is what there's a reason a lot of these spring drams are either a young or lightly barreled, because the distillate character is what gives you those apples and pears, all the aldehydes and ketones and esters that come through in that still that are generated during fermentation that then come through in the still are what give you those really light fruity flavors. And so that is what we wanted in this whiskey, in that we wanted to taste the distillate, not just the barrel or barrel finish. And so when they did that with this bottle, you get that sweet spring dram.
Yeah.
Well, we had a question come up. Can you buy this at the distillery on Saturday? Yes, you can.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you can.
As many as you want, and drive them out. I do.
And you can buy others.
You can probably buy them there and ship them from the distillery too, right?
I mean, I don't know
Or
why
maybe
you,
not,
you
maybe
might
not.
have to pay for
Probably
shipping.
not.
Pay for that. Yeah.
Okay, that may not. But
That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I think their partner is the one that does the
the
shipping.
partners. Okay.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had half of the bottles sent to the retailer initially, and left half of them at the distillery. So there'll be plenty at the distillery this weekend. And then after this weekend, if they're depending on how many's left at the distillery, we might have some more sent to the online retailer, just depending on what the numbers look like.
Exciting. I mean, so spring into flavor. I mean, honestly, it is that what we talked about, that lighter side of what you're looking for in a whiskey. It doesn't have to be Scotch, as you had mentioned. It could be bourbon. I'm not sure why, but you can do bourbon if you want to. It could be rum. It could be anything. But to us, and I think we all agree, it is that lighter foot forward.
You know, one thing we didn't mention though is honestly spring and early summer. We're all kicking into outdoor activities and stuff.
That's
so
true.
Honestly, it's nice cold beer for a while, and then by the time I want a whiskey, I'm usually looking for something a little meatier anyway.
That's more like summertime, though.
You know,
Beer before liquor. How does that work?
That doesn't apply.
Whatever.
Those are for rookies.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, we'll talk more at the end about our trip this weekend and kind of talk about it. But I think it's time for the next segment, boys.
All right.
You guys
what
ready
would
to,
that be?
What's up?
Our Patreon spotlight.
Oh boy.
All right.
You guys ready
We
for
need like
that?
I'm
Do
gonna
we need an
another-
interpreter for this one, or?
Yeah.
Do a little lap.
Yeah, a little spring.
We
he
might.
Splash here.
He is from a foreign country, isn't he?
He's from an area that doesn't speak. I don't know what would you call that?
I think they call it
Joyzy.
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 Joyzy?
Well, let's bring this guy on and talk to him and say hi, Mr. Bob H.
Bob H. in the house. How are you, my friend?
I know a guy who knows a guy.
I know a guy.
So, you want to keep going?
Welcome to the show. Thanks for being on tonight.
Hey, guys.
Most of our patrons know you because you've been a patron for quite some time. You're one of the OGs.
For sure.
Yes.
I was thinking about this the other day. I think I was one of the first 200 original subscribers. I think that's
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That was before.
That's
you had
my
Patreon.
recollection. Definitely within the first 500. I think it was like right around the 200 mark.
I can tell you at that number, we were celebrating every one. Like,
Yep.
we're 201, we're 202, we're 2.
Holy cow! Who are these people that are subscribing?
We actually have a video out there where we celebrate our 300
I
subscribers.
think so.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
It was. Even the wives were excited about it. Like
300
what?
Well, they were confused.
Yeah,
They're
like,
still confused.
who's watching you?
They
Right.
still don't understand what we're doing, but it's
But
okay.
you came along and found us and started. You got involved really quick. You weren't just one of those watchers, right? You and KB literally started reaching out and sharing, information with us and getting to know us. You guys actually started off your whiskey journey sort of together, and I remember you guys had a huge spreadsheet you used to catalog everything and track everything and share whiskeys amongst each other. Tell us what really got you into the whiskey scene. How'd you stumble into that?
Well, it was actually my neighbor who, I was, let me just backstep. So growing up, I was never really a dark liquor drinker. I mean, I would, beer, tequila, that was about the extent of any hard liquor. And I guess it was my neighbor who over the summertime said, Tom will laugh at this one because he always busts my chops about the McDonald's 7 and 7, right? So but that's what it was. It was a 7 and 7 with Crown Royal. He would mix it up with a large splash of lemon and lime juice, like fresh squeezed lemon and lime in the
Sounds like a
summer.
spring jam.
It does.
That's what I was thinking in listening before. It's exactly what it was. To me, it would be more of the kind of that mixed drink, if anything. But yeah, that's what kind of started me. And then we got to chit chatting, and he was not a whiskey geek by any stretch of the imagination. Nor am I. So look, no high expectations tonight. So, you know, so I am not the whiskey nerd.
He's
So-
gonna blow out the trivia like crazy.
Oh, I'm just going to go C across the board, just so you know right now. And
CCC.
so, but anyway, so yeah, then at some point I said, what does Crown Royal itself taste like? So I started to kind of experimenting with just basic Crown Royal and drinking that neat, and then putting the cube in it and just experimenting. And,
Wow.
and then it just was kind of conversation with my neighbor. And then it was like, oh, okay. And one of the biggest conversations or questions we both had was, what the hell's the difference between whiskey, bourbon, blended whiskey, Scotch whiskey? It's like, what is all this stuff? So that's what kind of, brought me into kind of researching and looking at and watching YouTube videos and whatnot. And, come to realize like, wow, Scotch has to be whiskey distilled in Scotland. And you go, wow, it's actually pretty simple and straightforward. Right. So that was kind of my intro into the whiskey world. And then you start going out a little bit and you kind of explore. I think it was I think the first time I had Macallan, like everybody else, I think everyone talks about this, the Macallan, the Glenlivet 12s, the Glenfiddich 12s, right? That standard middle shelf kind of stuff you get at every bar, right? So that's kind of what got me started into exploring a little bit more. And then in the beginning of time, I think I was watching Ralphie initially on YouTube and Liquor Hound, and then eventually I found you guys, and it was like, whoop, there's no turning back. These are my guys. Because and we've had this conversation before. What was always unique about you guys is a lot of these channels, it's one guy talking to a camera. To me, not very engaging, doesn't keep me overly interested. You guys, you've got, that banter back and forth. You've got 4 different opinions. It's just guys being guys and just having fun and drinking whiskey. And that was the initial appeal. And obviously, how many years later we're friends. You guys have been to my house. I've been to your house and to the bar a couple times. And it's just a fun community.
Mm-hmm.
And a story. So, I mean, that's kind of where I got my start into the whiskey journey.
And by the way, you're in deep.
Yeah, don't come off as this. I'm not a whiskey nerd. You are.
No, I don't have all the facts. I'm not saying I don't have a lot of whiskey. I didn't say that.
There we go. Truth comes out.
I just said don't quiz me because you're not going to get a lot of good answers out of me.
Well, and I think one of the cool things about you, Bob, is for a long time you're like, oh, I don't really know all the whiskey, and I'm definitely not a peat head, and all these kind of things. But over time, and who has it said that John Glacier said that you're not a peat head yet?
Yeah.
You finally found a peated whiskey that
I remember being there for
drew
this.
you in like, boom,
The light bulb went
the
off.
light
I saw
bulb
it
went
happen.
off.
It's so
Tell
much fun.
Tell us about that experience. What was the light bulb moment for peated whiskey for you?
It was actually in my backyard in the wintertime.
Okay.
And it was a Lefroy Carchus.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget which version of it, but that had to be, at this point, I would say that's probably close to 5 years ago. Okay. And I was outside, it was cold, and just with the fire, probably had bacon going on the fire as well. Bacon Bob. Bacon. And it was, I decided to pour that, and I smelled it, and it was like, it triggered me to go, there's something to this. Because my first experience was actually with my neighbor. It was whatever the base Kalila was, a Kalila 10, I think it was.
12, maybe?
10 or 12, whatever it was. And I think I might have bought that bottle because you guys reviewed it eons ago. So I opened it up and I just made a face like, oh my God, what is this? and I made the same face when I had a tiny sip of it, put the cap on it and went, no way. Brought it over to my neighbors who got me going on the 7 and 7s. And he opened it up and he was a bigger drinker than I was at the time. And he was like, well, it smells great. It tastes great. I said, dude, the bottle's yours. Right? Yeah. So bought it, smelled it, sipped it, gave it away.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but then fast
normal.
forward, we're in the city.
Well, before
Right.
that, so yeah, again, going back to the fire pit moment, and it took definitely, I think it was 2 or 3 years into this journey where I finally said, there's something there that I can now appreciate, because I started, I guess, first of all, my wife was always like, how do you drink whiskey? You have no sense of taste and you can't smell. I'm like, I don't know. Yes, granted,
Makes
but
me
I'm
feel
working
good.
on it. I'm trying. I'm reaching to grab something out of this. I read the notes.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was my first really step into appreciating a peated, smoky Scotch, and then of course started playing around with a little bit more, particularly as an SMWS member. And then yeah, I think it was, when did we last all meet in the city? 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I think so.
Year,
Probably.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Two
been
and a
at
half
least that
years
long.
ago. So that was my. I bought myself a birthday bottle, which was a Lagavulin 20 cask strength. I forget what it was like 50 something percent, low 50s or whatnot, and opened that up, and it was Andrew was on my left. We were sitting by the fire inside Faces and Names in New York City. Opened that up, smelled just let it sit for a few moments before even smelling it, and then smelled it and was like in heaven, and didn't even drink that for at least 15 minutes before taking a sip. It was just so, I don't know, inviting, and it was just like, I don't even know what the words are. It was amazing.
You had an epiphany.
It was it was an epiphany, and it's that old peat and smoke that has that soft mellowness to it that really was just like, it was a beautiful Scotch. And I think, again, I think Andrew, you were sitting next to me. I think we had that dram for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You did.
Easy. Easy.
That's the thing. Part of it is your maturity of your palate. Part of it is just location and the environment where you're in.
Environment, people, time,
that
place.
was a thing, but I think you had reached that whiskey moment in your life where now I get it. I understand. Not everybody's gonna like it. Yeah, see, whiskey helps. It's just one of those things where it's an epiphany moment when you.
It was right. It was an epiphany moment,
Yeah.
and I think it wasn't a hard punch you in the face kind of moment. It was just very soft and delicate, very inviting. And yes, oftentimes drinking is it's about the environment you're in. Sometimes you can drink, sometimes you can't really drink. And if you're out fishing on the boat, you're going to slam down that 105. Right?
Oh, don't do that.
Bob, I got to tell
wasn't
you,
there for that.
I was. It was good. I got to tell you, I've seen you, been with you, and had many a drams with you, and you have quite the collection. And you appreciate your whiskey. You have a wide variety, and I've seen you get excited for a lot of different things. But I can tell you, I have never ever seen you as excited as that night for a dram of whiskey. And to your point, I remember we had like 3 or 4 different Ball Blair came into play. I mean, some amazing whiskeys came in there, and you were like, I'm fine right here with this right here. And you sat there and drank that whiskey for at least an hour and a half and enjoyed it. And to me, that was a really cool experience to see you do that, because not just from Lefroy, but you just really fell in love with what that was, the 20 years
Correct.
what Lefroy did, or
Lagavulin.
Yeah.
Lagavulin did. And it was really to see that and witness that.
You're right.
Well,
There was a lot of good whiskeys that day too. I mean, we were drinking. There wasn't a dram that was bad. I mean, they were all top shelf.
Well, no.
Yes.
Remember, we were over at Rosie's having dinner,
Yeah.
and I think we had a Bunnahabhain 12 cask strength. We had a lot of other heavier, good meaty scotches you're gonna drink with your steak. And I think Drew, you had said, okay, of all the whiskeys we've had over the last 32 hours, what is your favorite?
Okay,
Right?
this is getting crazy. That's 32 hours.
30. Okay, 36. I don't know why. 36.
Well,
It's
give
a
it-
little
we
detail.
slept in between.
It wasn't straight.
But we had so much, and it's like, what was your favorite? And I said, I'm going to surprise you on this. And
Yeah, I remember
again, knowing that I'm a big Boonhaven fan. Did we freeze?
No, we're good.
I got you.
Oh, my screen froze on here. Of all of the things, I came back to that Lagavulin, which I was even surprised because of the experience of nosing it, drinking it, sharing it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
All three.
So,
We got to put him through the ringer, man. We've got a set of questions where he's got to answer them.
Oh boy.
I
C.
mean, don't let him off the.
You
let him
come
off
with the
the
trivia or the other question?
just a regular question. He's got to get the same.
Not
the same.
C.
I mean, it's like going through the line of paddles, man. We all get a swing at him.
Oh,
All right. Well,
So we got to.
Who's
get
up
him
first?
up.
I gotta get him up. So give me a second.
all right.
We've got some questions that
We've got some that we can. I can remember from reading them previously. I'll start it off then.
a
So
little bit of hot seat.
yeah, I mean, outside of the Lagavulin, how's that? What is your most memorable dram?
Probably the one you just talked about.
I know that's why I said
Well, so
outside of that.
yeah, do you have one that is that pivotal in your career?
You've
Yeah,
got
you
a
know what
bottle
it
of
was?
it at home.
It's not a bottle. It was a sample. It was the dump bucket dram that you sent to me and Zach.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Come on, man.
That's bad.
No.
Wasn't
That's
there a
bad.
No.
Freud in there? Like an old
No.
Lafroig?
Why don't you twist it and say what's the most unique place that you've enjoyed?
Oh,
Scotch?
that's better.
Unique place. I'm going to say whiskey, or I'm going to say whiskey, not Scotch.
Sure.
So
Whiskey.
it was actually Cove, Ireland. Went to it was a European cruise that the family did, and after the day of excursions was over, the ship was docked right there in Cove, in the port, and there was a little town. And it's a 5-minute walk from the ship, and there was all kinds of stores and whatnot. And everybody's like, "Hey, let's go for ice cream." And I'm looking at the bar, going, I am not leaving Ireland without going to a real Irish pub.
Yeah, right.
So I did. So I said, "You guys enjoy yourself. Pick me up on the way back." So I had, I think it was oh God, what was it? Anyway, I had what was the Irish? You said it before, Mark.
Bushmills?
Redbreast?
Redbreast?
Redbreast. I think it was Redbreast 15, along with my other first, which was Murphy's.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah,
You're a
you're
big fan.
dangerous with Murphy's.
Yeah,
It was a twofer. I was like, so, and I just sat there by myself in this little Irish pub and just enjoyed the environment, and just, it was like the best combination of whiskey and stout that I've had. So that's kind of I would say the most memorable place.
Those are the environments where you pick up accents and come out speaking different.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, Mark does. He doesn't need much help.
Exactly. I'll get myself in trouble.
Go ahead, Sean.
Is it my turn? All right, Bob, you ready?
Mine's.
I feel like mine's an easy question, man. I'm not trying to beat you up or anything. So you find a lot of whiskeys
Oh, yeah,
online,
he does.
right? Like a lot of whiskeys.
He is the hound, man.
If there's a bottle we're missing, you're the guy we get a hold of.
Yep.
Is there one that you're most proud that you found?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I got 3.
I was
All
going
right.
to say, I can
right.
answer at least one of them for you.
Balblair 90,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
OP21,
Yep.
Tamdu Batch 1.
Oh, my
Can do batch one.
Yes.
Those are 3 good bottles.
Those are great.
Because you guys know, it was, I think we were texting or chatting on the live show, and I think it was the OP21 that I found for $118 a bottle at the time.
Yep.
And I think I had ordered 3. I said, "Hey, I think there's some more out there." Of course, the mistake was sending the text to KB. Say, "Hey, dude," he bought, basically between the two of us, we bought them out. Like, you guys didn't even get a chance to breathe, to even try to find.
I
a
literally
bottle.
tried to buy one while we were still live, Bob, and it was sold out already. I was so pissed. I was like, "Are you kidding
I
me?"
think I bought 5, and KB got at least like 10.
That
And
was
the
the
same
one
thing
thing.
with the Balblair 90. We just cleared them out in the East Coast.
That was the interesting thing. The first time we we went to KB's, right? And it was kind of around that time where you guys were all fired up about that. And I remember seeing like 4 or 5 21s.
No.
No, what?
I have a picture of it. There was like 10 Ball Blair 21 or 12
Yeah,
90s, and
there's
there were 14
a plethora of all of
OP21s.
those 3. And I was like thinking to myself, going, "Oh my God, that's awesome! Look at this."
They're all gone.
And imagine now if you still had those. Jeez.
Yeah, and I think I at one point had 6 Tamdu batch 1s.
Did you really?
Oh my gosh.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
brought
you-
one
you
out
were the
last time I
hunter.
saw you guys. Yeah.
You are a hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my OCD. I gotta buy it. So
Well, you're good
I'm a
at finding
collector. I
it too,
collect
though.
crap.
Yeah.
I've put you on the hunt on a couple of bottles, and remember you and I kind of went through a big kick of old Bunnahabhains, and we started really researching and learning about what the old labeling and bottlings of the old Bunnahabhain 12s were. And between you and I think we've got it covered. I mean, honestly,
Yeah, you do.
there's 6 different bottling changes that Bunnahabhain 12's gone through over the years, and I think I personally have 5 of the 6, and I'm pretty
I got
sure
3 or 4.
you-
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But you helped me get there because I mean, put Bob on it; he'll find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a good researcher.
Bunnahabhain-
So
Bunnahabhain 12 is an interesting bottle because, it was good in the beginning, when you have it. And then because there's so many whiskeys out there, as you guys know, you kind of set something aside, like that bottle aside, and maybe you don't touch it for 2 years. All of a sudden you have that bottle again and you realize now it's the red label one and you're like, it's not really the same. So like you said, Mark, now it's like, I got to find the black label. So so I did that, which means, of course, I have about 6 of the old black label Bunnahabhain 12s now.
you have no room, brother.
That's when I stop. When I run out of room, I stop.
So speaking of this, what's your white whale?
I knew that's a perfect right.
What are you gonna? What's one you just eludes you?
I will say it eludes me now, but I already had both of these. One is the Lagavulin 20 because I would love to get another bottle, but I paid $350 for that at the time. It's $1,000 now.
Oh my
It's
God!
Yeah.
it's $350 good. It's not $1,000 good.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you got a lot of extra coin. And the other one, actually, because KB had gotten this for me several years ago too for one of my birthdays, which was a Bowmore 20.
Oh.
That was super good as well. So I think that what tended to be softer on the peat and the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So I really remembered that. So you guys know I'm predominantly a sherry head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So,
Dirtiv
and both of those
profile from
bottles.
SMWS.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, deep, rich, and dry
Oh,
fruits.
Deep,
Yeah,
deep
I
rich
mean,
dried fruits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, on my shelf, I would say 98% of the bottles I have are just that profile.
Yeah.
It's a
So-
good profile.
It is a
Nothing
good
wrong with
profile.
that one.
You guys got
Yeah.
anything left?
I do. I want to ask one thing. So we helped you along with your Scotch journey. Have you brought anybody else along? Have you passed the love to others to explore and, describe your love of whiskey and then interest others in a similar kind
Mentor.
of mentor? Yeah.
Probably my brother-in-law for the most part.
Okay.
Because he was a whiskey drinker, and then I kind of got him into it. But actually, more recently, it was a client of mine. I was out in London last year, and I said, "Hey, are you a whiskey drinker?" Which just opened up the doors. He goes, "Yeah, I drink bourbon, blah 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 blah." And I said, "Hey, did you ever hear of the SMWS?" I said, "Hey, there's an SMWS whiskey bar here in town. We're going for drinks tonight." And so I turned him onto it. Got him a gift membership for the holidays, and I think he just has already got 3 bottles he's got on order.
Spreading the love. That's
Spreading the
But
love.
what was funny there is we're sitting down, and we all know SMWS, it's cask strength. You need to take it easy and slow.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know that at the time. I would say within 7 minutes, he's like, well, I'm like, dude, you need to slow down. This is cask strength. He goes, yeah, I'm starting to really feel this. Like, it's about sipping it, enjoy the whiskey,
Right.
Talk about the whiskey. You get some eats while you're there at the SMWS bars, you guys
Sure.
know. So, yeah.
So
it's
to
a
wrap up
blast.
the patron spotlight, portion here, What's your favorite thing about being part of the community, the Scotch for Dummies community? Because honestly, that's probably one of the things we're most proud of. I mean, it's honestly the community and the people that make us who we are and what this whole thing is. And you're a part of that. You're actually a pretty big part of it. You know a lot of the other patrons really, really well and close. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's in a word, it's community, so it's people you would never meet through any other means. Yes, you kind of come together because of this common love for whiskey. And, so that's, you start talking about that, and then you start taking it into the personal side and, knowing each other at a personal level, or work level, family level. Like we're all just having kind of friends all over the place. Like the first time we was it a year and a, when was the last event in October? A year and a half ago, October, I think, right? Mm-hmm. So like meeting Chad for the first time, Zach and Martin, like Kim. I haven't met these people before that, but you know them already.
You're right.
Because you know so much about
it's like
them
family,
personally.
right?
It is a family. It's an extended family. And the reality is, I would say that the majority of the time we spend on Zoom calls, we're not talking about whiskey. We might say, "Hey, what do you got?" and all that. So it's a little bit of interest in what's in the glass, but it's generally kind of catching up and just some of the folks in Australia just, "Hey, what's going on?" You start talking about their life, their lifestyle, and their world. Or Chad up in the far northwest of Canada.
Right.
It's
interesting.
It's just fun to kind of listen to people's lives who lead a completely different life than perhaps we do. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the things that's weird is when you meet people for the first time, you shake hands, right? But when you meet each other at one of the Scotch for Dummies event, it's a hug because it's like, oh, it's good to meet you finally. You
already know everything about
like
these
you
people.
know so much about them. It is like family. It's that family hug you get when it's like, oh, it's been a while. Let's
You're right. There's not even a handshake. It's immediately goes right for the hug.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
completely.
I can't let this go without talking about one of my fun memories with you, Bob. And it's not really a memory so much of us together. It's something you did, and you've always been a giving person since the day I've met you. And I still remember back in our early days being so excited and wowed because it was probably one of our first out deliveries or something, and it was a box of whiskey glasses.
Yeah.
I think they were tailored milestones or something.
Glasses.
They showed up out of unannounced,
and they come to you. And this was just the beginning of many of fun things you just sent our way. And it was just because you thought, hey, these glasses are cool. I like to see you guys try these, whatever. It was you're so giving. And it's just one of those things I want to let you know that we appreciate that. And that's one of the things we love about you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, the first set of glasses I sent were it wasn't the stemware. It was the wider bulbous one.
Yes.
Right.
It's like a bigger Glencairn.
Yes.
Right.
Like a bigger Glencairn.
That's right.
Those are the Taylor Milestone ones, right?
No,
those are the second ones you said.
Yeah.
Right. And then I came across the stem ones, the Taylor ones, and went, I think these are now my favorite ones. So I'm like, dude, you guys got to try these. So
they're both really good glasses.
Both great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, Bob, you're done with the hot seat, but now you've got to prove yourself on whether you are knowledgeable in the whiskey world. But we have a special quiz tonight.
We do.
You guys were talking about, before you get to the quiz, and I wrote this down because I didn't forget. Like, what's the spring? Dram.
You got one?
Oh,
and I do. What actually came to mind, and it is the Irish side, but it's Teeling Cabernet cask.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
So the wine casks, I find, they're. I'm not really a white wine person, so that's why the Teeling Cabernet cask is lovely.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
100%.
Nice.
Very nice.
Gives you the fruity flavors that you're looking for.
Yeah.
I see Bob was paying
Down with
attention in the
He
green room.
was.
Right?
Let's see if he can pay attention to this trivia, because it is now time for trivia. Whiskey trivia. Brought to you by our special patron, Joe H. This is all his questions, boys. This is his research. He did a great job.
I haven't seen him, so
this is pretty good.
I'm going to give it my best shot.
Not
Okay.
AI.
I have not seen these. Not AI?
That's
Joe.
right.
Well, no, it's,
Is there
it's
a,
not AI. It's Joe H.
That's correct.
Is there a theme involved? Or is
Well,
it just
kind
whiskey
of.
questions?
I mean, honestly, he did a good job of trying to match the spring event. So there are some
okay.
questions that kind of match it a little bit, but they're kind of out there. And the interesting thing is the questions are all over the place. So you guys are going to have fun with this one. So let's get to the first one and see
go.
how
I'm a little
Bob
nervous.
does here. So Andrew, start us off here.
All right. What year was the first non-royal celebrity Scotch whiskey endorsement? So somebody who had to endorse Scotch whiskey, but it was not a royal.
Oh, shite.
What's the answers?
Oh, I'm sorry. A is 1834, B is 1914, C is 1954, and D is 2004.
I'm going to go with last week's answer on the chat. Really, guys? This is a stupid question.
I'm going to go with your answer from earlier. I'm going to say C.
Well,
Actually, I'm going to go with B. I don't know.
Is it going to be earlier than you think it should be?
My
Or is it
inclination
going to
was
be way later than you think it should be?
Exactly, because I mean, a celebrity
Got
in
the card.
1834, a celebrity in 1904. I don't
It can't be 2004 because that's like
yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it
think
feels
of-
like
I
it.
think
feels
of
like
like-
yesterday. Totally.
Who would, Sean Connery in 1954?
There can
It's
only be
a little
one.
early,
That's what I'm saying.
But
Yeah, but
that's-
they didn't do a lot of celebrity endorsements.
Well,
Thanks,
yeah,
Steve.
whiskey didn't advertise like that.
I'm
right?
going with B.
I gotta
Sticking
go-
with it.
I
Going
gotta go
with B?
D.
Okay.
I'm going with D.
I'm
You're
going with D
D?
as well.
I don't remember the answers, so I don't know what it is. I'll go with B too. It is B.
Oh, William Grant & Sons was perhaps the first company to hitch a ride on the popularity of famous entertainers of the day when they sought to associate their Glenfiddich single malt with the internationally famous music hall comedian Harry Lauder. 1914. Interesting.
Well, I'm over.
Yeah, I would not
got
have
that one right.
guessed.
Thanks
So,
to
it's,
Bobby.
it was actually earlier than I thought it would have been. Way. Okay.
Yeah. Marky.
Bobby's batting 1,000. Question 2. Which Scott distillery currently holds a royal warrant from King Charles III? Aberlour, Craiglockie, Deanston, or Lefroy?
Ooh.
That's tough because the
So
one
that's
I
a
thought
new royal warrant.
the one I thought is not on there because I know
I'm
he
gonna
was a
go
big
with B
fan
again.
of Wolfburn.
That's right.
and-
What'd you say, Bob?
B.
B. Is that? Are you going to go B all night tonight?
It's a possibility.
I gotta
No, because I'm not
I don't
sure.
know.
King Charles III.
go with
Yeah.
A, I think, on this one.
I'm feeling
I've-
the peat.
Well, so wait a
I was
minute.
going to pick A too, but I did
Where's
that
where's
last
Bal
question
where's
and got
Balmoral relative to these distilleries? Isn't that the royal residence in Scotland?
screwed. Can't help you, man.
And
No
there's
idea.
Like 30 royal residents in Scotland.
Not in
Oh,
Scotland
in
or
Scotland.
something. Yeah.
We got a lot of people
I'm
all over
going
the place.
D.
Everybody's all over.
A,
the
Yeah,
place.
D.
A,
I gotta
D.
go A.
I'm going A.
There's
I'm
no,
just
there's
going
no
A.
I'm
agreement
going
in
Pete,
this
baby.
week.
I'm going D as well.
I'm going Pete.
All right.
Should be
Let's see what we
Roscoe
got.
P. Coltrane says D. Oh, it is
Oh,
D.
Cask. Other royal grantees include Johnny Walker's, Matthew Logan's son, and Lochnagar. But Lefroy, D is the answer.
Good job.
Okay,
I didn't think he would
I
have
did
taste
not
like
know
that.
that. All right.
All right. Which Scotch whiskey region is home to sources of peat and the only place in the world where you can find the Scottish primrose flower? A, the Highlands, B, Isla, C, the Lowlands, or D, Speyside?
That could be a trick question.
I know it could be. I'm going to go with B. Islay.
That boy, Bobby.
Man, those brings back memories of the
Yeah.
old videos.
We did that. So we can look at video like
It's
3 or 4 of ours.
Islay, Islay.
That was the first time we felt the pressure of getting beat up on comments. We're like, oh man, we did that bad.
That was bad. Well, we're learning.
Right.
Islay.
We're
It's
lucky
probably a trick question, but home to source of peat. Gotta go Isla.
But
I'm going A.
I'm
going
going
A
A too.
because of the flower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I'm gonna go A. Highland flowers, floral.
A's and B's look like they're rolling
Yeah.
through most
He's
of the
throwing
people.
you a herring.
Maybe.
We got most A's and B's. We'll see what happens here.
Told you it was
got
A.
one.
2 for 3.
I've only got
See,
one.
I am not a whiskey knowledge nerd.
All right, so Highlands it is.
The Primula Scotia grows on the coastal headlands on the north coast. Okay, cool.
Yeah, what he said.
What he said.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. Which Scotch distillery has a garden on its property which houses a collection of plants from one of its inheritors and released a glass house collection in March of 2023? A. Glenrothes, B. Glen Elgin, C. Glen Grant, and D. Speyburn. Garden on its property.
I don't remember the answer.
And the glass house collection. The key is the glass house collection, which I don't.
Yeah.
I'm. Joe, you are.
did a
You're,
good job
you're
on
pulling from some
I
deep
don't
trivia.
I'm going C.
You're going to see? Bob, what do you
I was
got?
gonna-
I like C. I like
Glen
C.
Grant, so that-
You're going to go.
Tom's got the bases
You're going to
covered.
C as well? Okay.
Yeah,
What do you got?
I'm
Absidy.
going C. I'm a Glen Grant fan.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you got, Andrew? You still thinking? You know what to say.
Yeah,
The Glen
I think it's-
SMWS. Glen Grant
yeah, I'm
bottles
gonna
are all-
go see. Yeah, it has.
Oh,
that.
bandwagon.
Yeah, I am bandwagoning it.
Yeah, I think I will too go Glen Grant as well. Let's see what the answer is.
We can all be wrong together.
And the answer is Glen Grant. The Major Grant established the famous Victorian garden in 1886 to showcase the eclectic plants and exotic fruits he gathered on journeys across the globe.
Good for
Interesting.
him.
All right,
I
22
like that
acres.
guy.
Wow.
It's got a dram
Wowzer.
pavilion.
So
How do we build a dram pavilion?
I'm 4 for 4, baby.
Are we in? No, really?
We'll get you tripped up here.
Yeah, you will.
Which record-holding oldest whiskey ever released was released in February 2022, only losing the title to a new whiskey in September of 24? Glen Grant 74, Mortlock 75, Glenlivet 80, or the Macallan Reach?
Could be a trick question.
Shoit.
Yep. These are all big bangers.
I'm torn between two.
B or C in my mind.
That's where I'm
Yeah.
floating.
And I'm just throwing a dart.
think
I'm going to stick with my initial inclination, which was B, Mortlock 75.
Yep, that's where my first gut
Because
said
wasn't
too.
that didn't? Okay, so in my memory, there was a point where an independent bottler released something that was older than what the distillery had.
That's true.
And I don't know if that was Mortlock or some Macallan that did that. I don't remember exactly.
I hope it was Macallan.
I'm going to go with D
I'm gonna go
because
with
it's the only one not aged.
B.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want something that said the age?
Of course, you
And
would.
when it's that old, you want to put an age on it. I'm saying the B.
I'm going to go with B, but we'll see.
What'd you say, Bob?
Bob
B.
said B.
B?
He's a Mortlock guy.
All right, let's see. Oh, snap.
Wait, you looked at these already though.
Yeah, but I don't remember them.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
You're
So
right.
Macallan Reach, 288 bottles from one cask. Oh, a blown glass decanter.
How
cradled
old
in
is
a
it?
But we
bronze
don't have
sculpture.
an age on it. So this is a trick question. This is, I'm calling foul. I'm throwing a flag.
For once, it doesn't matter to me because I didn't create the questions.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. What's
Is it
next?
my turn?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Uh-oh.
This one's got cats.
It does.
Spring is the time for new life, and that includes baby animals. Which distillery's animal symbol is the Scottish wildcat?
Look at those cats.
A. Clynelish, B. Glenturret, C. Kilhoman, or D. Lindor's Abbey?
This is interesting when you see the answer to this one. I
I-
remember this one.
I think
I'm
I know
going to
this
go
one.
with D because I honestly have no idea. Again, that's well beyond my whiskey knowledge base. I'm going to just say D.
I didn't realize the cats are a huge thing in the
Oh, really?
whiskeys in the warehouses.
Scot-
Yeah, it's like
oh,
it's massive.
But they keep the mice out and things.
Uh huh.
The Scottish wildcat.
Yeah.
Huh.
How
This
big's
is
the
interesting.
Scottish
I wanna see
wildcat?
what people
I wanna
are saying on
say,
this one.
I'm going to say A.
I like
We're
D.
getting A and D.
I like Linders, man.
And we got a bunch of A's, some D's, mostly
man.
A's so far.
I feel like Clynelish is pretty far out there. They need some wildcats.
Where's Lindor's Abbey? Do we know? Like, is it a Highland or is it a
I
Lowland?
think it's Lowland, isn't it? I
No,
don't
no
remember.
Dalmore Stag questions here. That one I know. History of
Ooh.
the stag.
I know all about
I don't know
that.
why you know that.
I can educate you on that, Bobby.
Well,
I gotta
drunk
go
history.
D, but I don't know. Clynelish sounds pretty good too.
I
So
think what are
we
you
got.
going with? D? What you got?
I got A.
I think it's Clynelish as well, but I don't
I'm going
remember.
D.
you don't remember right.
It is
Oh,
Clynelish.
Son of a.
the tortoiseshell cat.
Read it for our viewers.
Well, who? I think it was.
Oh, 28,000
Right.
furry
Read the damn
pests in
answer.
her lifetime. All right. Towser, a tortoiseshell cat working her trade at the Glenturret, is said to have dispatched 28,899 furry pests.
Wait.
Who's counting that?
Wait a minute.
Right. Dead
said-
carcass.
It said Klein Leash, but the answer says
Well-
Glen Turret.
It is interesting.
Well, it's asking which distillery's symbol is
Correct.
the wildcat.
That's what I did too.
yeah.
I researched just double down.
I
did the same
I
thing.
didn't pick
wait.
B, but still.
You got to read the question.
Drew researched the double downs.
All right.
Hang on, back
Quickly,
up. We're
quickly.
saying that a
What-
cat had 28,000 kittens?
No.
No,
kills.
Kills.
Oh,
Kill.
kills.
That's a lot of mice.
If he was a World War
Kill
II fighter,
Holman.
he'd be covered in.
So when spring flowers bloom, the bees start making honey. What finishing cask is more likely to give a wildflower honey note in whiskey? A, port, B, sauternes, C, sherry, or D, tokaji?
Well said. I would have butchered that.
I would, yeah.
I would know about it. I would.
I butchered that in my head real bad.
So
I'm gonna say
wildflower
B.
honey.
Is that what Sauternes is? B.
I think I have an idea.
I would go B.
We all say
You gotta
B.
wait
I think
until-
you're right,
You gotta
Bob.
let people pick.
Well, they're delayed, so that's okay.
It's fine.
Everyone's going A. I think that was for earlier. I'm not sure. Here we go.
Lots of A's
B's,
and
lots of
B's.
B's.
I'm with the B folk.
Yep.
I don't even know.
We're
talking
So
about
does anybody
bees.
know what tokaji is?
No idea.
It's
everyone
a
is-
Japanese word
Something.
for
Something.
So
I gotta
smart.
go with B.
Everyone's saying
don't
B.
know.
It's better be B.
So B, the Queen Bee cocktail by Aberfeldy Whiskey includes bee pollen as one of its ingredients.
That's interesting.
So
Sauternes.
Sauternes is the answer.
That makes
Do you
sense.
think it was a
that's-
coincidence that the answer was B?
Oh,
Come on, man. You guys, you got to get on the board here.
All right.
It's not whiskey
That's
logic.
a dad joke.
Hit it,
Right.
Mark.
Come on.
Which Scotch distillery was the first to use the Solera aging process? Aaron, Brora, Glenfiddich, or Mortlock?
And this is actually a good one for us because it was probably like our 7th video.
Yep.
Got
See,
it.
I think I know this
So
one.
probably not Brora.
Got it.
Because we
Got
couldn't
it.
afford Brora or some video.
Because I loved
you.
the bottle.
C. Glenfiddich.
I loved the bottle.
The 15-year-old, right? That was a Solera cask.
Solera,
yes.
that's right.
But was it
Thank
the
you.
first?
That was the trigger. All you had to say was early videos and like Glenfiddich 15.
Well, it definitely
Solera.
wasn't Brora.
So tokaji is a Hungarian sweet wine, thanks to me, myself, and whiskey. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Engineer Network said, Mark says it's a Japanese something. So that is
Correct.
too.
Thank you.
Those
Very
are
well
both
said.
correct
I
answers.
am on it.
So,
Everyone's saying C, so I think we're all going to say C here.
Yep.
Yeah.
C.
But it's-
Glenfiddich. The Solera process started back in the 18th century in Spain and was used for aging sherry and Madeira casks.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the Solera process?
You keep dumping in on the top and taking out of the bottom, so the
Vat.
barrel never empties.
So legally, that first barrel you put in there is still, a portion of that is still in there 20 years later, 100 years
Correct. So it's a
yeah.
super old
So,
part of the whiskey.
If you think about a Solera process, let's say you have a Solera and you've been running it for 10, 15 years and you've always put really good quality older whiskey in, and then some new, but the distillery comes by and happens to dump a cask of 3-year-old, now your Solera vat's 3 years old.
later. Ruined. Yeah.
If you tell anybody.
As I say, depends on who you.
Whoops, wrong
Is,
fact.
is the goal with the Solera to try to maintain consistency or
Yes.
will
Yeah,
change
yeah,
and-
so.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, you're up.
All right, question 9. Speaking of babies, did we speak of babies?
The cats.
Oh yeah. What do babies do a lot? Vomit. What substance, often a fault, can cause a whiskey to smell like baby
This should be
vomit?
an Andrew question.
Andrew, you're gonna have to help me out here, buddy.
A is acetaldehyde, B is butyric acid, C is carboxylic acid, and D is trichloroanisole.
What he said.
I could not have done that at all one take.
Nah,
Nice job.
go with B again.
It's
No.
butt. It's got butt
Yeah,
in the middle.
that's
butt
not
in it.
vomit. That's
It's got butt.
ass.
I'm gonna
So-
say B.
So
Yeah.
I think butyric acid is best known for its rotten butter, rotten smell, rotted.
I'm
milk
going to go with
products.
D just
Well,
because
that
I can't
sounds like
pronounce
vomit.
it.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
I can't
We're
hear it.
playing with the microphone.
All right. I think I don't know. I don't know if that is. So it's B, butyric acid. The magic of butyric acid comes with time. Let it lounge about in a barrel long enough and it'll gradually interact with the alcohol, creating what is called an ester. One ester is ethyl butyrate, which gives off a fruity smell.
I don't know how I feel about all that.
Mark, you can get the last one.
Thank you. When spring comes around, what better way to spend the time frolicking outdoors? And what outdoors activity is more Scottish than the Highland Games, which distillery is a current sponsor of the Royal Scottish Highland Games Association? A. Talisker, B. Tamdhu, C. Tobermory, or D. Tomintoul?
Tomintoul.
This segment brought to you by the Royal Scottish Highland Games.
You do have that announcer voice going on. It's
does.
soothing.
He's frolicking.
So is this like Highland deer frolicking?
Oh, no.
Oh.
If you've ever seen the Highland Games, those guys are throwing rocks that are the size of a Volkswagen.
They're drinking before that.
What you got, Bobby?
I'm going to go with C.
You're going to go with C. We've got C's and a couple of B's.
I'm
Mostly
going to go with
C's.
Stuff for
I'm gonna
Works
say C.
answer, no idea.
What you guys got?
I'm saying C.
You're saying C? I don't remember.
I like D again.
I don't watch the Royal Scottish Games on ESPN, so I don't.
I feel like we're missing out.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm going to say A.
That's where they throw the big pole over, isn't it?
See, D. Tom and
D.
Tool. Talking about games and records, Tom and Tool is something a sound you would make when you throw a rock the size of a Volkswagen. The Guinness World Record for the largest bottle of Scotch whiskey, which took more than 1 hour to fill, is 1.8 meters tall.
300.
I think we could put that zebra down, boys.
311 liters.
We're going to try and put a barrel down in
How
this
much
one
would
Saturday.
that weigh? That's got to be a really heavy bottle.
Well,
Right?
About 300 kilos. So
Jeez.
In
600
Scotland, they
pounds.
say a fucking lot.
Almost 700
So-
or 800 pounds. Yeah.
We've got
That's,
some.
that's barrel size. A fucking
That's
lot.
right. We've got some scores coming in. Stuff for Work got 7 out of 10. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I got 5 right. Something like
You got
that.
5? Nice.
I
Steve
think
Ed
so.
got 8 out of 10. I think I did. I mean, I know technically I cheated because I did it, but I don't remember. I
Well,
really
cheers
didn't.
to Joe for putting that one together. That was fun,
great.
Joe.
That
It
was
was
good.
really, really a fun quiz.
If anybody else wants to put one together,
Yeah,
We'd be happy to take
I
your
do
questions.
like the additional factoid at the end there. That was nice.
That was really good. Nice job.
even if it's
Well
just a
done,
couple
Troy.
of questions, we
Joe.
like throwing those in.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Tom got 2 out of 10, so it's just saying.
Well, he's a rum guy, so what are you gonna do?
Bobby, it's great seeing you. Thank you for being a patron.
we will see you
exactly
tomorrow.
We'll see. Well,
And
yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Holy
24
crap.
hours. Yeah.
Yes.
tomorrow night.
That plainly.
Looking forward to it. Really glad you're coming out and glad you're making
Yeah,
the
same
trip.
here. Yep.
I'm sure there's going to be some drams poured tomorrow night
I was
at a
going to say,
hotel.
we're just going to have like a cup of tea and go to bed early, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I brought a few bottles with me.
Did you bring any bacon?
Nah, as a
thinking
local
that too.
store. We got to see if they got a fire pit. We're getting some damn bacon.
Yeah.
Look at the
Yeah, but
scientists.
sometimes, in the middle of nowhere in Virginia, they might actually have an outdoor little fire pit.
We can make it happen.
True.
We'll, be careful. We'll see you
We get a
tomorrow
little.
evening.
We'll get a hibachi. We can make that happen, right?
Yeah.
Go to the food store, get a hibachi grill.
That sounds like
Hang
a
out in the
fire
green
hazard.
room. We're going to give some drams away.
We'll see you in a bit.
Oh
bud.
yeah.
All right, thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers, Bob.
That was interesting, boys. Joe, man, pulled out a nice trivia, right?
That
Those
was
were good
fun.
questions.
Yeah,
They
they
were
were
fun.
great questions.
Yeah,
That was
really
really
good.
well done.
Great
Done-
research
done
and
job.
stuff.
Good
So
job.
it is
What are we
it is
giving
time
away?
for a patron spotlight. Why don't you pour some of these out?
So the
The
patron
spring-
wheel.
yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
let's give a couple of the
Which are
the
Drew's?
spring
Which
bottles.
ones have Drew's going to give away?
Wow.
You know,
So let's do an Oak Cross. Yeah, Oak Cross is great because you can't buy it anymore.
and it's good.
So
And
that's
it's
a, that's
good.
a great
Having that
one.
right
Yeah.
now.
Sure.
Do one Oak Cross and
Eeny, meeny, miny, go.
We'll pick something else out. Another spring dram that maybe we didn't even talk about. How about that?
I mean, you can.
Got
Is that
enough in
enough
there?
for
This might be enough for that.
I don't
All
know
right.
about
Not
that.
enough.
We'll figure it out. First
All
one
right.
is
Getting dizzy.
I know, right? Oh,
Scott.
Scott Monroe
Scott
gets
Monroe.
a
Oh,
bottle.
we know which one we're sending him, right?
Yeah. And then the next one is
Telling me there's a chance. Oh, I thought it was going to be Lano. Oh, Chuck.
Malt
Ninja.
Right on.
All right,
We'll take
Chuck.
that.
nice.
Something special coming your way. Gentlemen,
Very
we
good.
got we got to hop a flight tomorrow, 2:30.
We do.
Yep.
So
Big day tomorrow. We will try to do some filming. Might go live. Who knows? But big event this weekend. I have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looking forward to hanging out with patrons.
Yeah, if you're coming out to the distillery tomorrow in Virginia, looking forward to seeing you there. We're gonna have a really good time. We're
mean
actually gonna
Saturday?
drink. Wait, yeah, we're traveling tomorrow. Saturday's the event. We're gonna drink some good whiskey. We're gonna have some food. We're gonna have some good fun hanging out with each other, and really looking forward to it. So safe travels to all of you that are coming out. What do we got going on next week? We back on
Same time.
There you go.
Bat Channel. Yeah.
That's right.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Cheers to that.
guys.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers,
guys.
everyone.
3, 2, 1.